What's up everyone, I'm Brandon from We Need Movies and here are my 10 favorite films of 2016. I apologize for it being out so late, but I like to wait as long as possible so that I can see as much as I can from 2016 or whatever year I'm doing. This year, unfortunately, I still didn't get a chance to see a number of films here, and I'm going to rattle them off because they are movies that, knowing the critical reception, audience reception, and just my taste in movies, they could have been on here, who knows, I'm not entirely sure. But Train to Busan, Elle, Loving, Lion, Patterson, A Monster Calls, The Edge of 17, Silence, and Moonlight. I did not get to see those films. I will see them once they come out on Blu-ray. My 10 favorite films of 2016, here they are. Number 10. The Jungle Book. I know no one is putting this on their list. It was completely forgotten at the Oscars other than for visual effects or whatever. But this was the one movie that I watched in theaters that completely transported me to another world, another place. Jon Favreau made an amazing family film that utilizes special effects unlike really any other film I've seen of recent years, of recent memory. Everything in this movie was done on a green screen somewhere, except for the little boy actor. It's got a good performance from him and a great cast of voice characters, from Bill Murray to Christopher Walken as King Louie. You can't get better than that. Like, I love The Jungle Book. It's a movie that I will revisit. It's a movie that I'll demo TVs on. It's one of those movies that's definitely style over substance, but they managed to update the classic Disney movie and the novel by Rudyard Kipling, and it's just, I've loved this movie. I can't wait to watch it again. Number 9 is a film that, unlike The Jungle Book, did not perform well in the box office. It's a movie that was very underrated, very underseen, unfortunately, and that is The Nice Guys. This movie has the best, buddy cop chemistry between two A-list actors that I've seen in 10, 15 years. Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling work off each other perfectly. Shane Black, the writer of Lethal Weapon and some of your favorite 80s action movies, and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which was a great flick starring Robert Downey Jr. It's the same tone as those films, and while the story itself, is a little generic, the chemistry and the dialogue itself are out of this world, laugh out loud funny. The setting was great, the music fit perfectly. Again, when we talk about rewatchability, that's kind of what I look for when I look through my list of 2016. Yeah, some of these movies aren't gonna be the best made films, but they appeal to me specifically, and The Nice Guys hit that perfect action comedy itch that I didn't really know needed scratching, but it's one of those movies that reminds you of why you fell in love with action movies, if you're an action movie fan, or movies of that ilk. It's a great little noir. I can't say enough about this movie. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Number 8 is Hacksaw Ridge. Now, the first, I would say, act of this movie is really melodramatic, almost soap opera-esque, but as you get into that second half, even before then, once he gets to training, I guess, it really starts to get a little darker, a little more mature. Mel Gibson crafts some of the most brutal war scenes since Saving Private Ryan. The long takes of insane battlefront action, this is pitch perfect war biopic material. Again, it's not a genre that's going to appeal to a lot of people, but if you're a fan of those war epics, you're gonna like Hacksaw Ridge. Andrew Garfield is great in the movie. You forget about his accent and you really care for this guy, because while the plot centers around a man with these vigorous religious convictions, it transcends a movie just about faith. It's about staying true to yourself. Hacksaw Ridge is just an incredibly uplifting film, and while some people might find it hokey and corny, other people like myself will find real meaning in it, and it's just incredibly entertaining. Just well worth a watch. Number 7 could not be any more different than Hacksaw Ridge. We're gonna go from a war biopic type film to a musical dramedy. It's Sing Street. For those of you who have not seen it, it was on Netflix. I'm not sure if it is anymore, but it's a very small scale film directed by John Carney, who did Once and Begin Again, 2 other musically centered films. And Sing Street is basically about a boy growing up in Ireland who decides to form a band to impress a girl. It's got great music, really infectious music that I can't get out of my goddamn head that I've had on my iPod, really well written music, beautifully crafted characters. Each of the boys in the band are really just funny. And the lead actor and the lead actress have great chemistry. You really believe them together. And it's just a very entertaining coming of age story that deals with issues that aren't necessarily touched on in those type of films. It's very mature in its thinking. They make these coming of age dramas for teens every once in a while, but this one really stands head and shoulders above the rest. Again, I haven't seen Edge of 17. I heard that's great as well. But Sing Street's just a great teen movie that is inspiring, it's sweet, it's funny, and it's memorable. Number 6 is a movie that I actually reshot this list for because I wanted to include. It was the last movie I pretty much saw of 2016, and it's Patriots Day. It's the third film directed by Peter Berg to star Mark Wahlberg. Based on true events, he had Deepwater Horizon earlier this year, as well as Lone Survivor a couple years back, and this movie recreates the Boston Marathon bombing as well as its aftermath and the search for the terrorist suspects throughout the city and how the whole city shut down and worked together. I mean, the events of this only took place a couple years ago, and to have this movie come to the big screen so soon, I was very nervous. Didn't expect it to be as good as it was, but it leaves politics aside and simply is just a pitch perfect police procedural movie. It's so well crafted, it's intense. The editing is superb. I love the way how it switches between these characters. Some of them at first seem completely random and you're like, why are they here? And then eventually their purpose in this whole larger story comes into play. It's just a great suspenseful, I guess, historical drama that manages to pay respect to the people involved as well as just tell a really, really good story. Number 5 on my list features two of my favorite actors working today, and that's Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Shannon, and the film is Nocturnal Animals. They're joined by Amy Adams and Aaron Taylor-Johnson, and an actual amazing supporting cast even around them. This movie kind of blew me away. It's one of those movies that you continue to think about long after the credits roll. Told in 3 separate timelines, I guess, with one being completely fictitious, just a novel. And the novel world that they build in this is so dark and twisted, and I love the characters in it. It's so intense at times. So many metaphors, some are very blatant and in your face, others are well below the surface, and you just continue to think about how each of these storylines connect and what's real and what's not and what certain actions may mean. I love this movie. I can't wait to rewatch it. It's a movie that I feel like I'll be kind of watching a few times and showing to different people to kind of get how, what they interpreted out of it. But I love Nocturnal Animals, and I can't wait to see what Tom Ford does next. Number 4 on my list is a film that very few people saw, and I know this is probably not on anyone else's top 10 of the year list. It technically was made in 2015, but it didn't get a North American release until 2016, and it was pretty much direct to video, or VOD rather, and it's The Invitation. It was on Netflix, it may be there now. If it is, seek it out. A man gets an invitation to attend a dinner party at his ex-wife's house. That's all I want to tell you what it's about. Do not look up any plot synopsis really any further than that. Don't look up any spoiler reviews. This is a movie that you should really just experience from front to end without knowing anything really about it. Some of the acting is just okay at times. The beginning, the first 25 minutes are a bit slow and meandering, and you're wondering why you should even bother watching this movie. And then as it continues, it ratchets up the tension. You learn more about different characters and what their motives might be and how this is all playing into this night. And it's just incredibly transfixing. I love this movie. It's a movie that I've shown to a few people because I love watching what they think might happen and how it all ends up at the end. And even if you do guess the end or what's really happening well before it's revealed in the plot, it's still so well made. I love the score, the performances, like I said, some of them aren't great, some of them are really good, and it's just one of those movies it's just a hidden gem. Not a lot of people are talking about it or continue to talk about it, and so that's the reason why it's so high up on my list, is because every year there's 2 or 3 movies that I tell people to go see. Like, you've seen all those other ones, you've seen the awards-bait movies, you've seen the big blockbusters. This is a movie that very few people have seen that can kind of just be for you and your group of friends if you like. But The Invitation, I really recommend it if you are into psychological thrillers. Number 3 on my list is on a lot of people's lists, and that's Hell or High Water. This film has 3 fantastic performances from Jeff Bridges, Ben Foster, and Chris Pine. It's got a lot of great supporting characters too, one involving a diner scene that the actress is just out of this world good. But Hell or High Water is the movie that we needed right now because it tells the story of all these disenfranchised people that don't get their voices heard a lot in film. Their stories aren't really told, and it's just about these 2 poor brothers living in West Texas who decide to rob banks to pay off a debt. And I won't give you any more of the plot because a lot of the fun of this movie is figuring out their plan and how well it would work in a real situation. There's a line in this movie that Chris Pine delivers about how poverty is like a sickness and how it infects your family and is passed on from one generation to the next. And growing up in such a small town, you really relate to that and you understand the mindset of some of these people. And again, it's incredibly entertaining, but it has so much more to say than your typical heist or crime thriller Taylor Sheridan, who wrote Sicario, wrote the script, and it's just so well written. A great script, great movie. Check out Hell or High Water if you have not seen it. My number 2 movie is Jamie's number 1 movie, and that is Arrival. Walking out of this movie, I was kind of blown away, and as it started to sink in what had happened and what certain things meant, and the chronology of it all, that's when I realized that I loved this movie. This movie deals with such heady concepts. It winds up subverting all these science fiction tropes and just delivers such a thought-provoking film. Some people dislike how it ends and where it goes. I loved it, and it deals with so many sci-fi elements that you're used to seeing in films, but does it in a different way. I love the alien design. I love that action is not the point of this movie. It's really about the dialogue and the characters. Amy Adams, it's a shame she did not get nominated for Best Actress because she delivers a fantastic performance. The score, the cinematography, the direction by Denis Villeneuve, who's becoming probably my favorite working director, or one of my favorite working directors right now. He did Prisoners, which was my favorite film of that year. He did Enemy, he did Sicario, he's doing Blade Runner 2049. I love this guy, and I'm so glad he got nominated for a Best Director Oscar. Arrival is one of the more mind-bending science fiction films I've seen in a long time, and I can't wait to revisit it. All right, before I give you my number 1 film of the year, I'm gonna give you my honorable mentions, and there was so many movies that I wanted to put in this. If I had a top 15 or a top 20, I could have shuffled these around and maybe put some of them in there. But this was a great year for movies. Despite some of the bigger blockbuster movies just being terrible, the smaller independent films, or just the modestly budgeted movies, had a lot to say. I'm rambling, but here are some of my honorable mentions for some of my favorite movies of the year. The Witch, Green Room, Midnight Special, The Hunt for the Wilder People, Captain Fantastic, The Lobster, The Birth of a Nation, Don't Think Twice, Captain America Civil War, Deadpool, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, Zootopia, Kubo and the Two Strings. I have to include Sausage Party because I know a lot of people hated that movie, but it's the movie that made me laugh the most this year, and I've probably seen Sausage Party more than I've seen any other movie this year because I've just shown it to so many people to be like, what do you think? This is insane. Like, it's so stupid, so crude, but I am ashamed to say I absolutely loved it. Deepwater Horizon, Sully, Fences, and it's an honorable mention. It's not my number 1 film. I did really like it, but I did not love it. That's La La Land. I know many people have this in their top 10, some are at number 1. It's just a movie that didn't quite connect with me as much as it did for everyone else. Maybe that's because I've never been to LA, I don't live in LA. That being said, it's still a beautiful movie. I love the music, I love the actors, but while La La Land may appeal more to the West Coast, people who live in LA, my number 1 appeals to me because I am from New England, and that's Manchester by the Sea. Few movies get Massachusetts, New England, Maine, those type of characters right. And Manchester by the Sea does them to a T. Like, it's an absolute perfect recreation of how these people think and how we talk and how we treat each other. This is a movie that emotionally affected me more than any movie that I saw this year. And while some people may just say that it's really depressing and it's all about hopelessness, I applaud the filmmakers for being so brave as to not wrap it all up in a cute little bow that says everything's worth it, everything's amazing. This movie has the guts to say that certain things in life you can never get over. It's incredibly sad, but it's also heartfelt and really funny at times. Casey Affleck and Michelle Williams deliver amazing performances, and some of these scenes I'm going to remember for years. Like, some of these are so emotionally powerful, and again, I know some people aren't going to like this movie, some people are going to find it very slow, but if you happen to like movies that are completely about characters and your perception of them as you reveal layers of why they may feel this certain way. If you like movies that are small scale and very intimate, Manchester by the Sea is my favorite film of the year, and it could be a movie that you missed out on that you really should check out. I recommend it anyway. All in all, 2016, not too bad for movies, so comment below, let us know what some of your favorite movies from 2016 were. Follow us on Twitter at We Need Movies and Facebook. Check out our Facebook page at We Need Movies. I'm Brandon, Jamie's across the country, and we need movies.